This is Kristin from Temperance, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
One, two, three, four. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Where are you located?
Right now I'm in New York.
Oh,
But
nice.
I live in Sweden, but right now I'm visiting my parents for quite a while. So
Oh, sweet.
nice.
I'm
Yeah.
originally from New York. I love it up there.
Oh, me too. It's my new vacation spot, which I never thought I'd say, but New
Are
York's
you
the
actually
best.
in the city?
I'm actually a little bit out in Long Island.
Oh, that's where I'm from.
Oh, where?
I'm from Valley Stream in Lynbrook.
Oh, funny. I'm from Wantaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My sister still lives out in Bethpage.
Oh, that's of course right by.
Yeah, that's funny.
Small world, small world.
Yeah, I get up there as often as I can because I really like it.
I know. It's like when you're there, you don't realize like you're like whatever. But then when you leave, you realize like what you have.
You
and,
you are
and
so 100% right because I lived there and never saw any of the tourist stuff because it was just there. And
right.
now I go up, take the kids or whatever. And we're like, oh, we're gonna go see the Statue of Liberty. And I walked by it like every day going to work and never paid any
Yeah, exactly.
attention.
I still never been to the Statue of Liberty. But then I'm just like, oh my God, the food is just
Yeah.
food's so good, and you realize like, man, I just want chicken and broccoli. You can't get chicken and broccoli everywhere
Yep.
else.
And this is probably gonna sound terrible, but the bagels and those rolls in the deli, those you can't get them anywhere else. I
You
don't even
can't get
know.
them. You can't get them anywhere. No, it's so funny because you just really take it for granted when you're living there.
And then you go up there and add like 10 pounds because I start fiending and eating all the stuff that I can't get anywhere else.
Yes, exactly. Yes, yes, yes. That's so funny.
So anyway, sorry, we didn't come to talk about New York and food. We're here.
And we could though. We could.
But I can talk about food all day long.
Yep.
So let's talk about Temperance. Holy cow, no return. Unbelievable.
Oh,
Unbelievably.
thanks.
What's been the response to it so far? It's probably pretty amazing, right?
I think it's been great. I mean, I really haven't heard so much from. I mean, I guess like I'm just kind of reading comments or whatever, but yeah, I think the response has been really great. I mean, I haven't really I mean, the isn't out yet, so you just kind of hear from reviewers or
Right.
interviewers, and they're like, okay, that's nice, and you want public opinion a bit. But I mean, I think it's been great. I'm super happy.
Yeah, I would be too. So when you say you're reading comments, do you pay how much thought do you give those keyboard warriors both negative, right? Because I'm sure you get them, but how much thought do you even put into it? Would you care?
I mean, it's a little bit. I think I'm in a weird position because, like, I'm the new singer, and so you just wanna, you want people to be happy, even though I shouldn't want to make people happy. But there's just things that are like, do people feel good about the band still? I mean, for the most part, I think people are really excited and happy, and that makes me feel really good. But of course, there's people who just hate change and they just don't want to. So
Sure.
I don't give too much weight. I have my own YouTube channel, so I've been like I of course read all the comments, but it's all you get better over time. I think if I didn't have the channel, I would give it more thought. But I've had this channel for a couple of years now that like it's like
It
okay
just rolls
okay
off your back, right?
yeah
Because
yeah
everybody, you got all those keyboard warriors can say anything they want to say and have no skin in the game, right? It's easy
right
to disrespect something, I guess is the word.
right exactly.
So new record is the 20th on Napalm Records. How did you end up with the gig?
So I actually think it all comes down to that YouTube channel I was talking about, where I, so yeah, I'm a professional opera singer. Like I went to school for opera, and I only did opera. I've been a
Where did
metalhead my
you go to
entire
school from?
life. I did my master's and doctorate in Stony Brook University.
Oh my goodness, that's right around the block where I grew up too.
Ex-
So
yeah,
weird.
isn't that funny?
Uh,
Yes, Stony Brook has a great like conservatory program for the like grad school level, and I just it's easier to stay on the island. I have a lot of private students, so it was easy to like go and see them and go to school. And so I moved out, and I lived in like the Stony Brook area for like a long time, going to
Right.
school there. So
But how do you hook
yeah.
up with a band in, from overseas?
Yeah, I guess so. The pandemic happened, lost all my jobs, and I said, "Well, fuck it. I'm gonna do YouTube videos. Like, I just want to do my metal covers because I never had an outlet to do metal, even though I've sung it. I loved it for since I was 12. I've really spent my whole life with it.
And they go
Um,
hand in hand, I think, metal and opera, as odd
Totally.
as that sounds.
Yes, not the vocal techniques. Vocal techniques are completely different, but of course, yeah, like the epicness, I think, is really something
Yeah,
that kind
that's a
of
good word.
grabs you.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I remember seeing on, do you remember like Headbangers Ball, like
Oh yeah, I grew up
Dima
watching.
Borgir? Yeah, me too. Like Dima Borgir's like Prodigies of the Great Apocalypse came on, and I think I like shit my pants. And it's like the first time I heard like this orchestral
Yeah,
blend with like the really heavy black metal. Like it was so cool. I mean, that kind of changed my life. Those yeah. I mean, Headbangers Ball was amazing.
yeah,
Uranium was also great for that. Like growing up and seeing kind of things that are a little bit more obscure. Now to
yeah.
us, it's not obscure, but growing up,
I
yeah.
just saw Ricky Rackman do a spoken word thing. He's actually doing.
No.
He's got his hair cut off now, and he's, I guess, so this thing. But he does this like spoken word. It's like Tales from the Sunset Strip and Tales from, the Headbangers Ball, and it was really
Yeah.
interesting.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's interesting, and I think it affected a lot of people's life. I think like us in the U.S., how we kind of come to know about a lot of things has been very different from the way Europeans received how they learned about certain bands and
Right.
music discovery was very different for them. I've come to learn. So yeah, it's cool. But yeah, but anyway, I mean, I was a metalhead my whole life, and I did these covers, and I wasn't expecting anything at all. And I ended up getting a fantastic response, and I did not realize it. My first cover was Twilight Force's Twilight Horizon, which is like the super high
Yeah.
power, super power metal. And yeah, I think Marco, who writes for Temperance, he's been kind of like following my covers. I met him on 70,000 Tons of Metal, the big cruise ship, I think in
I've gone
2019.
every year, right?
Yeah, me too. I'm going this year.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
already.
love it.
I do press on there since 2011. I've been doing it.
Oh, sick, sick, sick. Yeah, I hope one day to play. That would literally be.
I mean, why not
I
this year?
can't even believe it. Well, this year's certainly not out, but nothing yet.
Right. Well,
But
we're
this year
putting
is
it out
certainly
there. We're
not
giving
out.
Andy the nudge.
Yes, please, 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 please. Yeah, it would be literally an insane dream come true. I mean, even when I'm on the boat, it feels like a dream come true.
There's
Like it
nothing like it,
just,
right?
there's nothing like it. You can't explain. If you're a metalhead, it's literally like someone killed you. You are somewhere in some fantasy land, and
Yeah. So my wife is not a metalhead, but she comes along just to get away from things and to keep me company while I'm working and doing whatever. And she still doesn't get it. But like the minute I'm already looking forward to, seeing everybody again the next year.
yeah, and it's just so other friends and oh, what an
Yeah.
amazing it's just the best cruise, the best one of the best experiences I think in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but anyway,
yeah.
we're talking about food and 70K, New York.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I do think that if we're going back to how I ended up in this band,
Yeah. Marco found you. He was following you. That's where
yeah,
we were.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I did a Beast in Black cover of Cry Out for a Hero, and he told me that was the cover that said, "Oh, this is the voice I wanted in the band." It was more grit and uh, more of a punchy style.
Right.
And
Greetings from Evergreen Podcasts. We're rolling out a listener survey and we want to hear from you. The information in the survey will help us gather statistics and in turn make our shows more appealing to advertisers. I know most people don't like ads, but this is one of the only ways our shows make money and help keep their lights on. We promise it will only take a few minutes, but the impact on our podcasts will be tremendous. As a token of our appreciation, we'll randomly select one lucky participant each month to win an exclusive merchandise package from Evergreen Podcasts. Head to evergreenpodcast.com/listenersurvey to help a show and possibly get some free stuff for doing so. We can't thank you enough for the support. Now back to the show.
Yeah, in December, he called me up and he said, hey, I haven't spoken to you in a couple of years. Would you be interested in doing covering for a tour that we're going on with Tarja, because we're losing Alessia, which was the previous singer.
Right.
And I was like, oh. And then I was going on tour with Twilight Force, so I was like, I have like 3 weeks of this other tour, and like, I think it's gonna overlap a little bit. He's like, that's fine, come after. I was like, okay, so
Wow.
I had to go the next day after that tour. But yeah, but then 2 days after that call, he calls me. He's like, actually, Kristin, can you join the band?
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, hold on, this is moving super fast. And I said, like, let's tour first. Like, I need
Right.
to get
Let's see
to
if we
know
get
you guys.
along. Right.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, because I really, when I commit something, I really want to commit. I didn't want to do it and then people feel weird about it. Just didn't look professional, I think, from either way to like decide
Also, if you're
or-
not 100% in, I think people would notice.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, at the beginning of the tours, I was like super like, what is happening? But like as I got to know them, like I really love the guys. We're super funny. They're all like we all have a great time every show we do. So yeah, it just ended up being crazy. And the craziest part was after I said like, hey, I need some time to like decide and get to know you guys. He's like, okay, but the problem is we need to record this album before you leave for tour. And this was like 3 weeks before I left for the tour. So he sent me everything and I recorded the whole album in one session in a couple hours.
Really?
Yes, the entire album is one session. And
So
there's
no return, even those notes are all just one
Yes.
session? Wow.
One session, that whole thing. There was, I think he gave me a couple, really a handful of revisions that I did, but they were mostly like emotive things that he maybe wanted me to do a little bit differently. Because, like I said, I didn't know anything about this album. I don't know the concept. I didn't know anything. I just was like, we need your lines. This needs to be sent to the label before
Right.
this date. So I did it also in my own home, like it just in my own recording studio. Like I
Really?
had no time to go to Italy. Nope, I did it
So
all
just
myself.
out on Long Island, you're just recording.
This was actually in Sweden.
Oh,
My husband is a sound engineer, so he could help. He helped me record.
okay.
Actually, I actually did all the recording myself. But like he helped me package it in such a way that
Right.
like, I was proud. And I sent him things like I'm proud of this, and so I would never send something that I thought was like shoddy or
Right.
But
Right.
it was super scary that like not only was I preparing for an entire Twilight Force set, but I was preparing for this Temperance set, and I had to do the new album, and this
So a
was
little bit of
all
pressure.
within a month, just a bit. It was a crazy time. Yeah. So I'm kind of happy now that the album's out now. The album's coming is so cool. Like finally, after all of this hard work and
Right.
yeah. So it seems like I joined the band only like a couple months ago, but I've really been with them since January, I guess.
That's still not that long, right? I mean, that's not even a year.
No, exactly, not even a year. So but yeah, and it was great. Like I got some, like we learned also how to interact on stage. We have our things, we have our shtick, and
Right.
that was also crazy to jump into. Is like a band that has their own things and what they're doing, and here I come along, and you're trying to learn the social cues. You learn the body language. It's so many things you don't think of that you have to start molding yourself into.
No, I know. And I think it's actually, and you could probably speak to this the best, but from an outsider, it's probably more difficult to replace a vocalist or a singer than it is, a drummer or a bass player, because you're like
Right.
the head of it, or not really the head of it, but you know what I'm saying? You're the front the front
Yeah,
person or whatever.
you're the face of the band. You're the
Right.
face of the band, and it's incredibly like we got a new drummer as well, and Marco is super amazing. And but of course, no one's really you would got to say
Right,
anything.
because
But
he's behind the
actually,
kit.
right, but the old drummer actually recorded the drums for the new album. So if
Okay.
anyone says anything stupid, which I actually have seen a stupid comment like I miss Alfonso and like okay, but he is drumming on this song.
Right, so you have no idea what you're talking about.
I
Right.
just like, bro, what are you talking about? Shut up. So yeah, that's yeah, it's weird to be the new face. Like yeah, it's weird. It's like things just kind of get thrown at you really quickly. It's like
Right.
when you come into a pretty established band, it's not like you're growing with the band and you become this face, but it's
Right.
like now you're the new face, and a lot of the best singers end up with this new singer syndrome. Like poor Tommy Karvik from Camelot. People can't believe, still it's like been 10 plus years and people still can't believe he's not Roy Khan.
Right.
And it's like, oh, and Tommy's just one of the best singers I think in the entire industry. So it's just like really, but I just when I see comments like that, I just do like this, and I have to think of like, okay, every singer who has been in this position has dealt with this.
Yes. But then it usually ends up, I mean, there's no denying that, you can carry it.
Oh, thanks. Yes, we're on tour, or going on tour with Serenity in.
I just talked to them 10 minutes ago.
Oh, really? Oh, I think we're doing interviews kind of around the same time. It's so funny
Yeah.
because the previous interviewer that I just saw a half hour ago, she also just saw them. And the way they schedule the interviews is like so.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going on tour with Serenity in February. So that'll be the first time. We originally like had some plans to do this like around now, but we decided to just kind of like we decided against it. And so we're just gonna bring it on the road in February. So it's gonna be very cool, I think.
So right after 70K,
Exactly.
right after you play main stage 70K.
Yes, please put it into existence.
It's out in existence right now,
Yes,
right?
please.
If it
yes.
happens, first beer's on you.
Okay. Got
Deal?
it. Yeah, deal.
Are you guys planning on releasing more singles as you go along, like following the normal business model of the new business
Yes.
model?
Yeah. It's interesting, right? It's
Yeah.
like video, lyric video is pretty
Right.
standard, I think. But yeah, we are releasing one more on the 20th, the day the album's released, like a video.
Right. I think it's great that you're still doing, full albums, because a lot of people are not. A lot of people have stuck to that just do a new single every 6 weeks and not really do the full version. But I think, people like myself really love that full version and seeing how you sequenced it. There's a whole lost art to that as well, I think.
I feel like metal in particular is still holding true to the full album thing. I think I haven't seen too many bands that have done the new sort of like releases thing. I
Right.
hate that. I personally love the story. I love the whole. I want to enjoy the album as a whole. I don't love the whole singles thing. It doesn't, because
No.
sometimes singles are like when singles aren't great, but then you listen in the context of the album and then they become great.
Yes.
And
But also the whole ritual too, right? You sit down with the record and you read the notes. and you
lyric
read-
sheets and yeah,
Yes, where
totally
it was
agree.
recorded, who you thank, you thanking your husband, whatever. But it's all this stuff that is
Totally
sort
agree.
of ritual to me.
Yeah, no, it's the same for me. I don't know if it's like a generational thing or if it's like I don't know what like kids these days are doing. Like I don't know how they're consuming, because a lot of the times, and myself included, I'm listening to more and more just albums when they come out on Spotify, and I don't get the thank you lists. You don't get the
No,
production
nothing, right? No
costs. Yeah, you have,
context.
to go on Metal Archives and see like when somebody uploads on Metal Archives like
Right.
who was actually on this album and stuff. So the ritual is getting ruined. But
The ritual was ruined a long time ago, to be fair,
Yeah,
because I mean, I remember do you remember Slip Disc Records?
yes,
Might be
yes.
I grew up going, like, we'd save our paper out money and then walk
Yes.
this records in Valley Stream
Yes.
on
Yes.
Tuesday. It was a Tuesday when records came out. We'd, skip school, go there with all our tip money or whatever, and, buy the new whatever record.
Right.
And
Yes.
then walk home like you're reading it as you're walking down, Merrick Road in Valley Stream. You're walking home reading the lyrics. And that's all gone now because it comes out, you get at midnight, on a download, and you miss all of that.
Yes. We had Looney Tunes also in Amityville.
Yes.
That was the one I more frequent, I think, was Looney Tunes. And also we had a Tower Records in Massapequa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was I think I was really young when they closed down. Also, I think I think it was like I was still middle school when they closed down.
Amityville had a decent venue, right? Wasn't it like Revolution?
I think it's still there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Then they have AMH Hall.
Yeah,
Amityville has Kunk too. Yeah. They I think Revolution still exists. And that was a cool venue. And I mean, Wansall has Mulcahy's.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I remember I saw Symphony X there, which was nuts. It's like,
oh, really? That's
3 minutes. I know, right? Yeah, it was like, and this was back, I think, 2008, which is, they were still pretty. They were big, and they played Mulcahy's, and it was such an amazing concert. It was just two minutes from my parents' house, so it was fantastic.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, we could reminisce about New York all day long.
Yes, we really could.
I appreciate you taking the time, and I am so sorry for that weird delay. I don't ever do that.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. I hope that wasn't too bad. I do apologize again. I feel bad for that.
Oh my God, no, this was great. This was great.
And I know we were all over the place, but I kind of just like to make the conversations go where they go. You get asked a million times the same questions, I'm sure. So
I actually appreciate this, and it was good. Yeah, it's usually the same questions, and it's also nice to talk to a fellow New Yorker, fellow Long Islander.
Yes, that's even better, right? The Long Islander.
Even better, yeah, because
Strong Island,
things.
right?
Strong Island.
Strong Island. We'll see you, my friend. Be well.
Yes, hope to see you on the cruise.
See you on the boat, and
yes.
when you're on main stage, a dark beer.
Okay, you got it.
We'll see you.
All right, see you later. Thanks. Bye.
Yep.
Hello out there.
Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.